Hey guys, today we're going to be furring out a basement wall. In this video we're going to be explaining where to put the walls, how to chalk the lines, how to frame around the windows, and how to attach it to the concrete itself. So let's get into it. Okay, the very first step is to check all your walls for plumb. When you're furring out a basement, we have concrete that is very close to our wood. So we want to allow for a 1/2 inch air gap so that if moisture ever gets in these walls, it doesn't come in contact with the untreated lumber. So when we check walls for plumb, the goal of that is so that if the wall's leaning, we can space the wall off of the concrete enough so that even when our wood framing is plumb and this is leaning, it's still not touching. We go for about a 1/2 inch gap, but some places it will get a little bit closer. Another thing to avoid the contact is to crown your studs away from the concrete. If you're crowning towards, it just increases the chance that it will touch. And yeah, that you do not want it to touch. For checking walls for plumb, I usually go around with a 6-foot level, and you can kind of check the top or see if the top kicks out more. But I put my foot underneath the 6-foot level and I go tight to the concrete here. And then whatever side the bubble's closest to, if you can read a level, that's the way the wall has to lean. So on this particular spot, I have to pull the bottom of the level away. So I use my foot to pull the bottom of the level away till the level's plumb. And then we can see we have about a 1/4 inch gap here between the bottom of the level and the concrete. So a 1/4 inch gap is fine. We're going to go with that. We'll space it our 1/2 inch at the bottom, and at the top it will be about a 1/4, which is totally fine. So you basically do this every 4 to 8 feet all the way around, checking for leaning walls. And then if you hit a spot that's leaning an inch or something, that will set your entire run, because you want your wall to be straight and plumb. So you got to go on the furthest in point. That is when you need to pay attention and chalk your entire line based off that. So I'm going to go around and check all these walls for plumb, and then we'll know where to chalk our lines. So we checked all of our walls for plumb, and the worst one is leaning a 1/4 inch, which is incredible. It's the best concrete I've worked off of. So we're good to go 4 inches off the wall at the base, which leaves us a 1/2 inch gap at the base. And that's will gap us off the wall at least a 1/4 in the worst spot all around us. So that's great. The next step is to make sure that that line is parallel and square with all of the other interior walls. So we already chalked out 2 reference lines off the exterior of the house, and we're going to use those lines to base our furring walls off of, because we don't want to just pull off the concrete 4 inches, because then it might not be square in some of the corners. So the next part is we're going to measure off of the concrete to our reference point. And we're going to go around and check to see the furthest point out to our reference line. That's going to set our entire run off of the reference point. So our closest point from our concrete to the reference line is 15 5/8. So we're going to set it. I'm just going to go 15 1/2, and I'm going to make a mark at 4 inches. And we're going to use that to chalk this line. One more thing to mention is that any pipes in the exterior, like this one here, you want to make sure that the pipe will fit in the wall. With our mark at the 15 1/2, marking at 4 inches, it will clear this pipe, so we're good to put it there. If this pipe was sticking out further, we would adjust the entire wall out to match it so that it would stay straight. Pull it tight?
Yep.
Good?
Good.
So the next step is to get our stud heights for all this, cut our studs and cut our top and bottom plate. I never like to hold my tape in the bottom corner like this, because it's too hard to get an accurate measurement. And there's no point going up on a ladder. The way I do that is I make a mark at a number like 50, easy to add. And then I measure down from the top to my mark. So we got 92.25 with those two numbers added together. So you want to go around and check all your spots and get that height. And then do whatever you need to get the actual height of where the floor trusses will sit. In this scenario, we only have a single sill plate, so we have an extra 1.5 inches, a little bit over, but 1.5 inches on top of this wall that will add to that measurement. So our total wall height is 93.75. And then we'll take off top and bottom plate, so you take off 3 inches, and we have 90.25. 90.25 will be our stud length. Okay, so we got our top and bottom plate. We're not doing a double top plate on this because it's non-load bearing. So I went ahead and marked 3 inches in off this end. I'm gonna line that up with my perpendicular line here, and then I cut this board so it ends on a stud. So we're gonna go ahead and mark out this pipe where we have a pipe located. You can go a little bit, about 1 inch past each side. I just scribble this out so I know that a pipe goes here. And now we'll lay out our wall and throw it together. Okay, remember we're crowning studs out away from the concrete. So this is one of the few walls you'll build in framing that you crown the studs down. That's so that when we stand it up, the studs are crowned out. As always, when we're nailing into a treated plate, we want to use galvanized nails. That's so that the chemicals in this board don't corrode the nail long term. It's code in some areas, it's code in ours. The top board is fine. It's not nailing into treated, so you can just use regular nails on that. We'll lay this first board down flat and we'll center it on our line so that it acts as a backer and a nailer for this next wall coming in, because this wall runs long. Nail swap. So we got our wall built, stood up. First thing to do is fasten it along our chalk line. We use Tapcons, holds great. Okay, we ran it 3 inches past, so we want to flush up our 3-inch mark here. That keeps our 16 on center starting from this corner. I usually fasten it, just skip 2 stud cavities, go again, and then make sure you put one on each side of the pipe because the plate breaks there. If you want to see how and why we cut around pipes this way, watch our video on how to frame walls around pipes. Okay, next thing we're doing is going to attach this to the concrete. When we attach it, we want to plumb it at the same time. Always attach your bottom first and then plumb your wall. So to do that, we're going to put a block in between. We're going to make an L and put it on the wall between the studs. And we're going to nail into the end of this. The reason we make an L is because of the 1/2 inch gap here. If we nail into this, or if we do a single block, it's not as strong. So we just get an L in there, it's still inset into the wall, and we can get solid nails. When you're building these blocks and attaching through the wall, make sure to use galvanized nails because it's into the treated lumber. All of these blocks need to be treated because they're going to be sitting against the concrete for the rest of their life. Next, we're going to be putting these blocks on. We're going to be using Tapcons to put them onto the concrete. And on the first one, you also want to plumb your wall this way if you have any corners or any drops, since your plates are the same length, you don't want to accidentally nail it leaning. So we'll just put a laser right on the end of our plate. We can see our dot. About that high. We're looking at our dot up here, sliding over. Then we're going to take a hammer drill and tap on it. Hey guys, I'm about to put a block above a pipe. Now, there is no way for plumbers to get their pipe up through the cavity if there's a block in the way, so don't do this when you're framing. So the next thing is to plumb the wall in and out. So we'll take our laser, look at our line, our dot up here, and when we're plumb. And for the first one, we'll plumb both sides of the block just because it could be leaning in or out. If you look here, this plate ends right here. That's why we put our first block here. It's for strength. So we'll skip 2 studs and then go in this next cavity. We'll do that all the way around the basement. Okay, next we're framing around this window here. First thing I like to do is clean this up. We'll just get rid of all this excess concrete. It falls off and gets in the way of us framing. So I'd like to just knock it off and get it out of the way at the beginning. Next thing, we'll set our plates right down where they go. Make sure they're butted up so that they don't, this is where they will go when it's all done. We'll take our level, and what we're looking at here is the widest point of the window. So in this scenario, it only changes 1/8. We want to get the widest point out on both sides and level down to our plate to make a mark. So that's where our king jack goes. Our jack will go from that mark out. So we're going to transfer that to our plates, to both the top plate and the bottom plate. Okay, the next thing is to get our sill and our header. And we're doing the same thing. We want to get the lowest point. We don't want to go above the window opening at all. So we'll measure, we'll step on this plate, make sure it's all the way down, and we'll measure in a few different spots. We want to get the lowest number. It's right here, 30 3/4. So we got 30 3/4. We'll subtract 3 inches for our sill and cut our cripples. For the header, same exact thing, except you want to get the tallest number. 78 3/4 is what we'll cut our jacks at. No math needed for the top. Just cut your jacks and it'll go up there. For your sill measurement, it's just between your jacks, inside to inside. Then your header is just the sill plus 3 inches. So now we'll mark out our plates, build our wall, and stand it. Okay, we got our wall built and stood, slid into place, and it flushed up with the window. You can see here that it's either below the window or flush with the window. And that's what you want. You don't want it sticking into the window, because when they put their jam, when the trimmers come in and put their jam in, that you don't want them to have to adjust for our framing. Okay, we got it all framed up. We got our corner attached. So just to touch base on the important things again, is this 1/2 inch gap between the stud and the concrete wall. Galvanized nails in the bottom treated plate and nailing into this guy, the block. Treated lumber anywhere it touches concrete. And also on this window to make sure that this is flush or bigger than the concrete rough opening. The one other thing is that when we pull off these reference lines, it squared up this corner perfectly because these reference lines were square. We didn't just pull 4 inches off the concrete. So that's important. If you got any value out of this video, please consider subscribing. Also comment down below if you noticed those boards didn't quite line up.